My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. Other people want to make friends. I'm just trying to make you some money. My job is not just entertainment, but to educate and teach you. Call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. Read-throughs. So much of successful investing is about read-throughs, dissecting the less obvious pin action when a company reports earnings. After a strong day, Dow gained 138 points, S&P advanced 0.45%, NASDAQ climbed 0.67%. You know what? I want to go over the best read-throughs of the session. Why don't we start with the commentary surrounding the excellent quarter from Micron, as the commodity semiconductor maker reported some truly terrific numbers last night. And you know what they did? They called the bottom in the semiconductor space. Now, we know Micron. We've had CEO Sanjay Mehrotra right on that show several times. I spoke to him on Squawk on the Street right after he reported his last quarter. Why does this stuff matter? Because if you're going to get a useful read-through that can actually help you make money, you need to be able to believe the words that are coming out of the CEO's mouth. Otherwise, it's all just blather. Sanjay is money good with me. He's been a straight shooter every quarter about both the good and the bad. He didn't hesitate to tell us things weren't that great not that long ago. But he also pointed out that Micron was going to cut back on production to bring inventories down, put them in line to a more reasonable level. And after the stock sold off in the spring, he said he would be buying the stock back, his own stock, hand over fist, which is exactly what he did because it had gotten too cheap in his eyes. Not only did he talk the talk, he also walked the walk. All right, we've established that. What are the read-throughs from Micron's quarter that can help you make some money in other stocks? Not just Micron itself. Although, remember, I do think that it's a terrific buy right here. Once the cycle turns for these commodity semiconductor companies, meaning once the prices for these products start going higher, or at least the rate of price degradation slows, the first one is NAND, the second one is DRAM. Well, you know what? You're usually at the beginning of a fabulous multi-year, not multi-month, not $5, $10, $15, multi-year business cycle with tremendous gains. I'm bringing all this up because Sanjay had some very bullish things to say on the conference call. The key line, I quote, "We are calling fiscal Q2 as the trough." In other words, he said the current quarter is going to mark the bottom, and this next one is when you have to buy. So you've got a trustworthy CEO making a crystal clear bottom call with no hemming and hawing, just a naked cold shot that left zero doubt that he believes the nadir is at hand. That means it is just soon enough to take action in other semiconductor stocks that could benefit but aren't up as much or people didn't seem to realize should be part of their portfolio, or at least part of the read-through. But before we get into the positive pin action, love that. You need to understand, that's Le'Veon Bell, by the way. He did that. You have to understand why management's credibility is so important. Because lots of CEOs make bottom calls. Yeah, they say this, and it's bottom here, it's bottom there. And they are often wrong. The other day, FedEx reported a truly disastrous quarter. And this company has become a serial disappointer. And its stock has been obliterated. Management talked about how the environment had gotten difficult, and that's why it's so hard to forecast. So you might think there'd be a really incredibly negative read-through for UPS. After all, they're in the same business. Nope. Few investors trust FedEx these days, so there was barely any negative pin action in UPS. Yeah, its stock went down a hair, but it's been able to bounce. FedEx also called the bottom on its call. But they have no credibility whatsoever. No one believes them, or the stock never would have been hit so hard on the news. Micron's different. Micron's credible. So what can we buy off of Sanjay's bottom call? First, the company said there was a definitive tightness in flash memory, their second most important business line. Who else makes flash memory? Well, that's Western Digital. Of course, WDC also makes disk drives. That's a crummy business. But I think the turn at Micron's strong enough that Western Digital can continue its march higher. Stock's already rallied nearly 60% for the year, including 2.7% today. I'm betting it's just gotten started because I know my history. In the past, when the cycle's turned, as I think it has, this $58 stock has rallied through $100. It's hit those lofty levels twice in the last 5 years, twice when the cycle turned. I think Western Digital can do it again. More generally, when you start hearing about a bottom anywhere in the semiconductor space, that tends to be good news for the semiconductor capital equipment stocks like Lam Research and Applied Materials. Both are positive. But remember, Lam has anticipated that. It's one of the strongest stocks in the entire S&P. So don't go crazy with Lam. Also, it's one of the strongest stocks when we were doing that piece last night about the impeachment. However, Clinton impeachment. However, what's really driving Micron's strength is digitization itself. As companies move to the cloud and need to store as much data as possible in big warehouses full of servers, when you think data center, you should be thinking AMD and NVIDIA. Both of these stocks have been red hot, but even after the recent runs, you know what? I think they have upside, more upside, maybe much more upside. Micron's starting to see the pull of 5G. That pull should boost Skyworks Solutions. You know, I like that company. It's well run. Qorvo, Marvell Technologies. That stock should be at 28. It will also boost the cell tower stocks, and we saw some of that in action today. American Tower, Crown Castle, SBA Communications. Now, I know these names ramped, so there's no real hurry. But you know what? You got to pull the trigger if they do come down. Here's an interesting one. Micron said PCs could be soft, but it's not because of demand. It's because Intel is still having trouble making chips. Now, you know who has them? Intel's main competitor, AMD. Another reason to buy AMD. Micron told us it's betting on demand for chips to power artificial intelligence and machine learning. I know from our trip to San Francisco that NVIDIA is already there, making chips that even understand inference. They know your idiom. Another reason to own the stock of NVIDIA. Buy. Finally, let's consider who's using these data centers where Micron says demand is accelerating. Well, that would most likely be Facebook and Alphabet. Alphabet, by the way, touches about a third of all internet commerce. These stocks, too, have been smoking hot of late. Let's just call it confirmation. Now that's what a read-through is. Okay, so let's flip it. Let's talk about a negative read-through, all right? Something that happened today that made you shudder and think, hold it, wait a second, maybe I'm too bullish. This morning, Darden reported a light quarter, with their culprit being their main business, Olive Garden. The stock got slammed. Looked like it would take the whole restaurant cohort with it, given the pervasive presence of the bargain Italian chain. Hey, it was natural to presume, because the chain's so popular, that the consumer must be pulling in her horns, that something's wrong, maybe even staying at home, something like being sick with a monster quarter from Conagra, a total stay-at-home dining outfit that we'll talk about later. But once the conference call started, you learned that it wasn't that. It wasn't demand. You learned that the weak numbers were self-inflicted. Gene Lee, the normally bankable Darden CEO, told a story of poor promotion and sloppy execution. Once the company aborted its ill-advised plans, changed its promotions, and got back in even keel, what happened? The customers came right back. The granularity that Gene gave us about the cadence of the quarter, how it progressed, as it's called, told us that things were right with the world. Of course, Darden has to go deep, big time into the penalty box, which is why its stock fell $7.28 or 6.2%. And Gino emphasized that consumers are out there bargain hunting for great food they can eat at the restaurant or at home. Once the demand versus execution issue was cleared up, it was obvious that the consumer is still dining out. So to me, the takeaway is, once again, I never overthink these things, people. What do you buy? You buy the stock of Chipotle. I know at 800 doesn't seem like a bargain, but the food's a bargain, so the stock's a bargain. Do not overthink it. I think you should continue to buy the stock. Remember, we just pulled up with them a couple of weeks ago. They are good to go. Now, the usual caveats here. You never just buy any of these stocks. These read-throughs are all starting points. At my old hedge fund, I'd assign each analyst one of these to go to work on. Break them down. Try to sell it to me. I know that's hard for people at home. But the bottom line, now you at least know what a read-through means. And if you've got the time, you can do the same analysis yourself to identify overlooked ugly ducklings that might, down the road, turn into beautiful swans. We're going to Adam in Nebraska. Adam!
Hello, Mr. Cramer. Thank you for taking my call and everything you do for us.
Oh, sure. Thank you, buddy.
I am looking for a Dr. Cramer education here, if you could. My stock is Oracle, ORCL. I've been doing my homework on it, and it's been kind of boring after earnings. However, yesterday there were 280,000 plus shares bought shortly after close, mostly in one big order of 220,000 shares. And today, after close, there was a $420,000 buy just minutes after close.
Yeah, but you know what? My bet here, Adam, is that these could be program-related. I'm looking at the trade. It could be a matchup with something else. I will tell you that I thought the quarter was okay. The stock got hit too hard off of an okay quarter. The process of Oracle has been this. Reports a quarter, people don't really like it, goes down. Then it just spends the next few months going up. Then reports a quarter, goes down. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it looks like the Alps. I mean, but it's not the Matterhorn, though. All right, successful investing is about read-throughs, dissecting the less obvious pin action, and then buying high. You will identify overlooked winners that way. Man, tonight, what do the stocks of ConAgra, Rite Aid, and Viacom CBS all have in common? Then the IPO market has had quite an interesting year. Today I'm going through some of the down-and-out, high-profile names, see if they're worth buying into the new year. And I'm sitting down with the CEO of Emergent Biosolutions to discuss the opioid drug crisis and the fight over drug pricing. So stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.